Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in a 1994 Mark IV Toyota Supra. It is a very good feeling to be back in a Toyota Supra. However, this one is on the complete opposite spectrum of the last one I did. The last one I did was built by Real Street Performance right outside of Orlando, Florida, and I did That Racing Channel's black Supra, which made right around 1,000 horsepower at the time. And now it's even faster, so if you want to go see that, check it out right here. However, this is a naturally aspirated Supra, kind of the bastard child of the Supra. A lot of people will see a Supra at a car show, freak out, and go, oh my god, it's a Supra. And then, you know, that other guy would be like, don't get excited, it's naturally aspirated. And then you just have the deep sigh. But the owner, ironically named David as well, loves this car to death just because it's a Supra. Just look at it. This one in particular, we call it the beautiful turd, because all in all, it's not fast. It doesn't really have that much performance at all, but it's a beautiful car. And not only is it a beautiful car, it's Baltic blue. This Baltic blue color is extremely hard to find, and David looked forever to find this color. But there's a little bit more to David's story about Supras. When he was younger, he literally prayed that he would see a Supra. Oh, he found one, that's for sure. But here's the catch. The first Supra he had was a right-hand drive Supra straight from Japan in Nagasaki and shipped to Canada, where he got it from Canada. However, down the road, it was taken away from him and then crushed by the government. Now, I know you're probably like, no way, they don't crush him, that's a myth, they don't do that. Well, unfortunately, guys, they do that. Basically what happened, they shipped it back to Washington State, had it crushed, and then sent the crushed version back to Japan because it was originally stolen in Japan. They didn't have much proof that it was stolen in Nagasaki, but the person who was importing the cars was stealing cars at the time. So they pretty much assumed it happened. So they went ahead and crushed David's baby. They crushed the white Supra. Believe it or not, at a Richmond car meet years ago, I saw this Supra and I was like, wow, what a beautiful car. And then I heard like 3 months later that it was gone. So cue the side violin. Now he has this awesome car, Nardi steering wheel. He has these awesome TRD clusters. It is so cool to see them turn on because they're so vibrant, but not too vibrant. It's not like flashy. It just looks OEM in like the perfect way. David also has a lot of plans for this car. So before people have a flame war in the comment section about how dare he keep an NA Supra, he's gonna twin turbo it and he's gonna do all the right things. The other cool thing is David loves Supra so much that he convinced his dad to randomly go out and buy one without telling him to do it. His dad just loved the car that much, he was like, I have to have one. It just has to happen. This is also the first Targa one I've driven as well. But the Targa, there's one thing about the Targa that we've noticed, and that is when you're on a back road doing corners or anything like that, it's definitely not as rigid as, say, a hardtop or when you put the roof back on. So that is something to note. If you don't know a lot about the NA Supra, basically, remember that SC300 I reviewed in Florida, that pretty red one? 2JZ, naturally aspirated. It doesn't go to twin turbos, it doesn't have a big single turbo aftermarket, nothing like that. It just goes straight to an airbox, just like any other naturally aspirated car would. So do you have to have a fast Supra to enjoy a Supra? I don't think so. I'm just driving this around town, and yeah, you don't have a blow-off noise, you don't have the turbo spool. But still, it's just such a pretty car. I mean, they did the rear end so well, the color is so vibrant. Every time David pulls into a car meet, I don't care anymore. You know, when I was younger, I would be upset. I feel like that's a thing you do when you're younger. You're like, ooh, gross, it's a naturally aspirated Supra, I don't care anymore. But nowadays, it's a Supra, I like it. It is kind of the car of our generation. You know, it is what convinced many people that imports were a force to be reckoned with. Because before that, yeah, you had the occasional really fast Turbo Civic, you had the occasional fast whatever back then, but you know, they'd blow up a lot without the R&D and all those kind of things. It's just the 2JZ's legacy is so big that everybody knows it as that motor. Everybody knows it as that import motor that can take all the punishment in the world, and it's gravy. So we're gonna get on it a little bit, just a little bit. We'll do like a little third gear roll on. Remember the last Supra I reviewed when I did this? It was scary and terrifying. This is a naturally aspirated one. Okay. Okay, what? I know it sounds bad, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It has torque. It actually gets up and goes just enough. I think that this kind of car is one of those cars where in a straight line, is it very fast overall? No. But once you got yourself on a back road, is it still a driver's car? Absolutely. The shifter is great. The clutch is super easy. And not only that, it corners pretty well because you have coilovers on it. And of course, another thing is the Supra's interior will always be timeless because everything is towards you. It's just so interesting driving a Supra on a back road when in your mind you're thinking, wait, am I not on drag slicks? I'm not gonna die if I take a corner? It's just interesting because nobody really takes the Supra as a track vehicle, like as a road course vehicle, but you can kind of see the potential in it. The brakes are not good, I will say that, but they're old Toyota brakes, so what do you expect? It's all wind noise, that's all you hear, there's no exhaust note. Just gonna flip into it. Okay, so shut it down. All right, so the thing about the Supra, at least with this Nardi wheel, I think it's the same with this normal steer wheel anyway. It has just a little bit of numbness right at the beginning. Like I'm saying, you turn in just a little bit, see there, it's barely turning in, but once you get to a certain threshold, it just darts right in. It turns right in with no issue whatsoever. I could definitely see if you did a really good, simple twin turbo setup on this car, it would be a monster on a back road for sure, because even naturally aspirated like I'm doing now, it's pretty great. Oh man. Oh, did it. Flawless. Brake. And I'm gonna have to drop a gear. I can't believe I'm smiling driving an all-motor Supra. That is awesome. And over the bump. Oh. Very cool. Wow. Okay, so the 2JZ in general, its power band is just fantastic. Like, without turbos, with turbos, it has torque. It has enough to have fun on a back road. It kind of has the BRZ Miata syndrome. You rev it out, and it just goes where exactly you want it to. So, yeah. I have to say, I had a lot more fun than I expected. And not that that's knocking the Supra, it's a beautiful car, but I just really wanted to know if the NA Supra could you have fun in one? Could you at all? And the answer is yes. So it's kind of sad that people neglect these as the bastard child when they're still so beautiful and so timeless. So as you can imagine, after David's Supra was taken away, crushed, all these horrible things, naturally he was very upset about it. And who wouldn't be upset about that? But at the same time, he was able to accomplish getting another one. And that alone tells him and tells me and should tell you guys that if you want something bad enough, you will get it. It's just a matter of time and a matter of effort. I know it sounds super cheesy, but having this materialistic goal of getting a Supra has opened his eyes and a bunch of other people's eyes of knowing that you can accomplish just about anything. I mean, think about it. You're a kid. You really want a Supra, but if you have the mentality of, oh, I'll never have one, it's too far out of reach, then sorry, it's too far out of reach for you because you don't have the mentality to do it. But if you figure out a way, you do everything right, and you find a way, you'll make it there. It's just like with any other car that's a dream car. And now David has a much better outlook on life just because he was able to attain his dream car and possibly other dream cars in the future. So that's how you should look at it, ladies and gents. On that note, I think that's a great note to end on because we had a bunch of fun. I want to thank David Thomas so much for letting me drive his baby. It's a beautiful Baltic blue Supra. And also, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time and have a fantastic day.